One of my biggest OCD challenges is when I can't touch anything like door handles or anything outside. So in the lift was quite a challenge, but I always wear a long coat, even in really hot weather.
Just on a quick break, and I'm wondering if anyone has this really weird relationship with anxiety where sometimes you can be absolutely fine and then suddenly start getting anxiety symptoms, where I get this lump in my throat sometimes and generally just get like a hot neck, start feeling nauseous, and I start overthinking every little aspect. But we got through, listened to some very interesting talks, and I managed to eat something now, and that's one of the biggest things where I don't eat enough. And on the days where I've ate before I left the house, it's been better, but I just generally don't always have the best routine. I'm wondering if anyone else has this really weird anxiety when you're feeling for how cool the ice packs are, and then you feel on top of that and you feel it's not actually cold, so you go through all these weird thoughts in your head. Is it cold enough? You know, this is the joys of being a metaphobic. I've already eaten one, but now I'm like, do I eat the second one? Is the water there coming on here a sign that it's getting too warm? I'm just sat in the car with the front facing camera watching this tree blow in the distance. It's just nice to hear the wind. It kind of sounds like an ocean. And when it gets to this time of year, it can be quite difficult because a lot of students start leaving, so your time gets a little bit more unstructured. Now there's a lot of free time on my timetable. Even though I'm working on things, my anxiety thoughts can slip in and it can make it hard to concentrate, or my emetophobia can be difficult. And there's certain smells that can trigger me to have anxiety where I just have to stand outside a room. But there's certain times like that where I can't handle certain smells, and that's one of my biggest things, which is an issue. It's been a nice end to today, going out for something to eat with my dad, and I have a hiatal hernia as well and reflux issues, so even though I'm young, I have ongoing issues, and I do think that's related to anxiety in some way. I'm quite happy about today as well, as I've managed to face one of my biggest fears, stay in the room and force myself in exposure, my own sort of self-charted exposure therapy, when people say they're ill or you might overhear things, and sometimes, well, the majority of the time, I will then have to get out of that situation, find another place to work, but I force myself to remain in that place. I continue washing my hands, and my OCD continued to spike up, but I managed to continue and get through the day, which has been quite good. And yeah, it finished on a high note, but it's been a really long day today because I left the house at 8:10 in the morning, and obviously it's just gone past 8:10 at night, so it's been a long day. Just had a shave, which I'm looking nice and fresh now, but I think I've still left some hairs here, so I'm going to have to go back through there later on. I've just been sitting here trying to focus on work, but I keep on getting these intrusive thoughts a lot of whenever I get nausea or some of the digestive issues that I get because of anxiety or because of my hiatal hernia or because of, I guess, what's related to autism, but mostly anxiety. I start thinking, oh, is that a symptom of being ill? Is that, and you know, all these intrusive thoughts that keep on happening. Not yet got to the stage of a panic attack today, but it's continuously coming in and it's getting quite difficult to focus. And with all the changes, like going to work, going to a different place, coming back home, working from home, doing other things, and just all these changes happening in such a quick amount of time at the moment, it's just hard to keep up with things. And it's just, I don't know, it's happening, and I can't really put it into words, but that's what's happening. That's exactly me today. I went to bed a little bit early last night because I was starting to feel a little bit anxious about emetophobia, and I started getting these stomach cramps. But I've woken up. Yes, I still feel a little bit nauseous, but the stomach cramps are gone. It's just raining. Just hear the rain coming down on the window pane. I was doing really well this week with pushing through and
getting through some difficult situations and thoughts with my anxiety and not having panic attacks. But today I did have a panic attack where I felt my anxiety rising and I just had to get out of the situation. I felt quite nauseous and sick, and that's one of my biggest things where, even though it happens a lot, I always go through this am I going to be ill moment, am I going to throw up? And that was a very difficult thing to get through today. But I went outside, did some breathing exercises, and then luckily that took my mind off it and I caught it early enough.
What I've learned from making these short videos and the experiment of just documenting a week of overthinking and anxiety is I can actually do a lot more than I think, and when those feelings come, I've actually noticed the amount of times I'm feeling nauseous, or I've got that low level anxiety, or sometimes where you feel like someone's sitting on your chest, but instead of escaping it or looking for an escape route, I've tried to face it and then document it as a feeling afterwards. So yes, it's made me realise that I'm going through a lot of things and I probably have a lot more anxiety than I realised, and generally what a lot of other people are going through. But making this documentary about myself has also, has made me realise that I can do a lot more than I tell myself. And we're doing this and we can get through these intrusive thoughts or these OCD things. Yes, you can feel awkward. Yes, you can look a little bit unusual or vulnerable in situations, but we can do it, and we can do it together.